back, the UK is accusing Putin of playing Russian roulette with nuclear safety as it continues occupying Ukraine's ZAPORIZHZHIA power plant. The British representative to the UN urged Russian troops to leave the facility after nuclear inspectors confirmed the presence of Russian forces and equipment. Russian President Vladimir Putin denies this and remains defiant about Moscow's losses during the war. He says his country has lost nothing in Ukraine, even though the West is reporting severe shortages of Russian personnel. Well, CNN's Sam Kiley is in southern Ukraine with more on the military operations in the region. Good to have you there for us, Sam. So Putin saying Russia has lost nothing. Talk to us about this counteroffensive. I understand you've been speaking to foreign fighters who've been injured in this war.
Yeah, I mean, let's first address the idea that Vladimir Putin, or Russia rather, has lost nothing as a consequence of its invasion of Ukraine. Well, it's subjected to international opprobrium, sanctions, it's losing oil and gas revenues, it is economically being very badly hit, and on the ground it has lost a large number of troops. Accurate figures are extremely difficult to come by, but many thousands, possibly tens of thousands, have been killed and injured. And now the Ukrainians are trying to take back the offensive initiative with a counter-offensive here in the south, focused on the city of Kherson. But foreign fighters we've been talking to, and indeed Ukrainians who are involved in the front line on that fight, say it's not going to be over anytime soon.
Margot, go, go, go! No panic, no panic! This normal.
Among the most forward troops in Ukraine's latest counter-offensive, this really is normal. When the crunch of incoming artillery is this intense,
Guys,
casualties in this reconnaissance unit, which includes 3 foreigners, are inevitable. Mark Ayres of Britain was lightly wounded on day 1 of the offensive. On day 2, he was more seriously injured in the leg by artillery alongside Michael Zaffer, a former US Marine from Kansas. He was hit in the hand, stomach and head. They joined Ukraine's army together, but met fighting ISIS in Syria. Zaffer is the former US Marine's Kurdish code name.
I am fine, go.
As recce troops, they've been the tip of Ukraine's attacks on its southern front in the fight to recapture Kherson.
And then I just remember looking up to my left and then pop, and couldn't see anything for a bit. Everything looked the same, everything came to. Looked at my left, looked fine, looked at my right, okay, I'm there, all right, to the hole.
It's going to be a slow, grinding fight, they say, whatever the claims of Ukraine's government.
This counter-offensive is being billed as kind of a quick process. Do you think that that's...
No, definitely not. That won't be quick. I mean, it's hard, slow fought, metre by metre, position by position, because we haven't got the resources to do a massive blitzkrieg.
US weapons and other NATO equipment have proved useful, but not decisive, as Ukraine has captured a handful of villages since the counter-offensive began. Here, Russian troops wave a white flag of surrender. Precision artillery strikes by US-supplied howitzers are monitored by Zaffer's recce unit with a drone. Russia's motivated its troops with false claims that they're liberating Ukraine from Nazis. For Ukraine, it's a battle of national survival, attracting help from around the world.
Do you feel sorry for the Russians?
No, not at all. It's not like Ukraine has invaded Russia. They've invaded Ukraine. They're here, killing civilians, killing our soldiers. I've got no sympathy for them whatsoever.
Ukraine's imposed a news blackout on the southern offensive and keeps its casualty figures secret. But for these men, being wounded isn't the end of combat. It's an interruption.
And are you going to go back?
Yeah, once everything heals on my body, probably within 3 to 4 weeks, I should be right back out there.
Now, Linda, the Pentagon has suggested that Russia is so short of ammunition that it's turning to North Korea to try and get supplies of millions, in the Pentagon's word, rocket and artillery shells, other supplies to reinforce its effort. But ultimately, it's going to be the men on the ground and the motivations that really matter here. And in terms of motivation, the Ukrainians still have the upper hand, Linda.
And Sam, in terms of Europe's largest nuclear plant, the UK is accusing the Kremlin of playing Russian roulette with human lives. Just talk to us about the consideration officials have for shutting down that plant. What can you tell us?
Well, this is a really radical new idea to have emanated from the Ukrainian government and the Atomic Energy Authority, suggesting that because they are so concerned about the persistent and regular disconnection of these 2 active nuclear reactors out of 6 from the main network, and these mean that the cooling systems have to rely on backup diesel generators or rely on what's called islanding, generating their own power to keep themselves cool. If they are persistently interrupted in terms of the power supply to the nuclear reactors, then Ukraine is suggesting that maybe they should shut them down altogether and avoid some future meltdown. I think this is partly brinkmanship because, of course, those nuclear reactors, very important part, up to 20% at their peak of the total generating power available to the Ukrainian government here in the country. So, but it is the kind of last resort idea that's being mooted, that they simply effectively mothball this nuclear power station for fear that there could be something much worse happening if this cooling system breaks down as a result of the fighting in and around the plant.
All right, we'll see where those conversations go from here. Sam, KILEY, for us, some great reporting on the ground. Thanks to you and your team.